chosen one with crescent moon and M. From now on, God takes over, your wealth begins. Many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22:14. Have you ever felt like you were meant for something greater? Like life was guiding you toward a destiny beyond the ordinary? If you've ever noticed the letter M on your palm, or the crescent moon in its lines, this message is for you. These are not coincidences. They are divine symbols, reminders that you are set apart for a higher purpose. From this moment on, God is taking over your struggles and will make way for abundance, and your path will be illuminated with newfound clarity. Stay with me until the end of this video, and let's unlock the truth that has been waiting for you. What do you feel deep inside when you hear this? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's begin this journey together. 1. You are here for a reason. You are not here by accident. Every experience, every challenge, and every triumph has brought you to this very moment. The universe operates in perfect harmony, aligning events in ways we often do not comprehend until we step into the awareness of our true calling. If you have ever felt a deep knowing within you, an unshakable sense that your life is meant for something far greater than the ordinary, it is not mere coincidence. There are signs woven into your very being, guiding you toward a higher purpose. Among these divine markings, two stand out: the letter M, or a crescent moon etched upon your palm. These are not mere patterns. They are cosmic imprints, sacred signatures of destiny, signifying that you are among the chosen ones. From an early age, you have sensed an inner pull, an intuition whispering that you are different. The world may have tried to mold you into its expectations, yet deep down, you always knew you were meant to walk a unique path. This deep sense of knowing is not just imagination, it is spiritual guidance, a call from the divine urging you to step into your power. The letter M on your palm represents mysticism, manifestation, and mastery over your destiny. It signifies an individual who is naturally aligned with higher wisdom, someone who is meant to break barriers, inspire others, and unlock the secrets of abundance. Likewise, the crescent moon is a celestial symbol of spiritual enlightenment, a beacon of transformation that signifies a profound connection to the unseen realms. It is no accident that these markings have found their way to you. They are a reminder that God, the universe, and all of creation are conspiring in your favor. When you are chosen, life often places you in situations that test your strength. You may have faced struggles that others cannot comprehend, moments of deep solitude, losses that shaped you, and obstacles that seemed insurmountable. But here is the truth. These experiences were never meant to break you. They were designed to awaken you. Just like gold must endure fire to reach its purest form, your soul has been refined through trials so that you may rise into your divine purpose. And now, the time has come. From this moment forward, God takes over. The burdens you have carried, the battles you have fought, surrender them. The path ahead is no longer one you must navigate alone. A higher power is at work, orchestrating opportunities, unlocking doors, and aligning you with the prosperity that has always been meant for you. If this message resonates with you, it's no coincidence you are here for a reason. The universe has been guiding you all along. If you've ever felt that deep inner knowing, that pull towards something greater, this is your confirmation. Comment, "I am chosen," below if you feel called to step into your higher purpose. And if this video spoke to your soul, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. The universe has aligned us for a reason. Let's awaken to our destiny. 2. You have a greater calling. You were never meant to be trapped in the endless cycle of struggle, competition, and chasing after security like the rest of the world. Your existence carries a far greater purpose, one that transcends mere survival. You are here to lead, to inspire, and to illuminate the path for those still wandering in the dark. The mark of the chosen one is upon you, and if you have ever felt different, misunderstood, or out of place, it is because you were never meant to fit into the mold society has created. God has already placed within you a divine calling, and from this moment forward, He is taking over. The crescent moon and the letter M have long been sacred symbols, representing divine mystery, intuition, and spiritual transformation. If you have been drawn to these signs, it is not a coincidence. It is a calling, a confirmation that you are stepping into a new era where abundance and spiritual awakening will unfold in your life. Consider the story of Alex, a man who spent years following the traditional path, working tirelessly, chasing success, and constantly feeling like he was falling short. No matter how much he achieved, there was always something missing. He lived in a world where success was measured by numbers in a bank account, yet his soul remained empty. One night, during a moment of deep reflection, he felt an unexplainable pull toward the crescent moon in the sky. It was as if something beyond his understanding was speaking to him. He started noticing the letter M appearing repeatedly in unexpected places on street signs, in books, in his dreams. As he delved deeper into spiritual wisdom, he realized these were not random occurrences, but signs guiding him toward his higher calling. He let go of the relentless pursuit of worldly success and surrendered to the divine plan. From that moment, his life shifted. Opportunities that once seemed impossible started flowing effortlessly, and he discovered true wealth, not just in material form, but in peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Could it be that you, too, are receiving these signs? Have you felt an inner knowing that you are meant for something greater? The universe has been whispering to you all along, waiting for you to listen. When you stop resisting and allow God to take over, everything changes. The abundance you have been striving for is already yours. You simply need to align with it. Spiritual awakening is not about escaping reality, but seeing reality through a new lens, one where struggle is replaced with flow and fear is replaced with faith. The world teaches competition, but your path is one of creation. The world says work harder, but your spirit says trust deeper. The world tells you to conform, but your soul urges you to break free. Comment below, I am stepping into my higher calling, if you are ready to embrace the path meant for you. Trust the signs, surrender to the divine plan, and watch as abundance and purpose unfold effortlessly in your life. 3. Abundance comes from purpose, not effort. The world constantly tells you that hard work and struggle are the only paths to success, that you must relentlessly pursue opportunity, compete, and sacrifice your peace of mind to achieve abundance. But have you ever stopped to wonder if true success is not about pursuit, but about alignment? What if wealth, prosperity, and blessings come not from constant striving, but from walking in divine purpose? The Bible reminds us in Psalm 23, 1, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." This profound verse holds a powerful secret. When you are aligned with God's plan, provision is not something you have to fight for. It follows you easily. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you are truly aligned with your purpose, everything starts to flow easily? Opportunities present themselves. The right people enter your life, and doors open without you even knocking. It's not coincidence. It's divine providence at work. Albert Einstein once said, "Coincidence is God's way of maintaining anonymity." If you feel lost, working tirelessly, but seeing little results, perhaps the problem isn't effort, but alignment. Many believe that wealth is only earned through blood, sweat, and tears. But spirituality teaches a deeper truth. Wealth comes when you align with the divine flow. The crescent moon and the letter M appearing in your journey are whispers from the universe, reminding you that you are chosen, that you are entering a new season where God is taking over. Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen." Have you noticed signs of guidance lately? Are there moments when you feel the universe pushing you towards something greater? Those moments are not random. They are messages calling you to surrender your struggle and trust that as you walk your divine path, everything you need will be provided. There is a shift taking place in your life, and from this point on, you are no longer the one forcing things into place. God is stepping in, and your riches, both spiritual and material, are beginning to grow. But the question is, are you ready to let go of control and trust that divine riches are already yours? Many hesitate, fearing that surrender means losing power, but true power comes from connection. Jesus said in Matthew 6:33, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." Are you still chasing, or have you started to align? This is your time, your moment, to step into the reality where you no longer have to struggle, because the divine energy is now guiding your steps. Imagine waking up every day and knowing that everything is going your way. It is not just a dream, but a promise. Now take a deep breath and say after me, "I am ready to trust and receive what is destined for me." 4. The mistake of the search mentality. Many spend their entire lives chasing success, security, and validation, only to find themselves feeling empty despite their achievements. They climb the corporate ladder, build businesses, and seek the approval of society, believing that fulfillment lies somewhere just beyond their reach. But what if true success was never about the chase? What if, instead of searching endlessly, you were meant to uncover something far greater than material wealth or fleeting recognition? If you are among the chosen, you are not here to follow the well-trodden path of the masses. You are called to something higher, something sacred. The universe has marked you for a journey that does not revolve around external validation, but around spiritual purpose. And when you step into that purpose, divine abundance follows. You must understand that your job, your career, or the role you play in society is not your identity. These are simply avenues through which you operate, but they do not define you. Your purpose is your true identity, and it is far more powerful than any title, paycheck, or social status. Many men believe that financial success or career achievements will bring them security, yet they still feel an unsettling void. That void exists because they are looking in the wrong place. when you shift your focus from external accomplishments to internal fulfillment, you will realize that your true wealth is not something you earn, it is something you align with. God does not bless those who tirelessly chase after riches. He blesses those who step into their calling. And when you do, prosperity flows effortlessly, not as a reward, but as a natural byproduct of living in alignment with divine will. Being chosen means walking a path that is different from the rest. It is not about conforming to societal norms or following the expectations imposed upon you. It is about listening to the voice within, trusting that the challenges you face are not obstacles, but divine lessons designed to strengthen you. The crescent moon and the letter M hold profound spiritual symbolism. The moon represents transformation, cycles, and divine timing, reminding you that everything unfolds according to a higher plan. The letter M is often associated with mastery, manifestation, and the bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. When these symbols appear in your life, they are not coincidences. They are messages, signs that God is stepping in to take over. This is the moment when struggle is replaced by grace, and scarcity is transformed into abundance. Many resist this shift because they are conditioned to believe that success requires endless effort and sacrifice. But when God takes over, the rules change. The chosen ones do not strive, they surrender. This does not mean passivity. It means walking in faith, knowing that doors will open at the right time. It means recognizing that wealth is not just financial, but also spiritual, emotional, and energetic. When you embrace your divine assignment, you begin to attract the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances, not because you are chasing them, but because you are ready to receive them. If this message resonates with you, let me know in the comments by typing "I align" below. Share your thoughts and connect with others on this path of spiritual awakening. Your journey is not about chasing, it's about uncovering your true purpose. 5. Seekers versus discoverers. Most people spend their lives as seekers, constantly chasing, striving, and searching for something outside themselves. They believe success, happiness, and fulfillment lie somewhere beyond their current reality, just out of reach. But the chosen ones are not seekers, they are discoverers. They do not run after opportunities they recognize and align with what has already been prepared for them. Seekers live in a constant state of pursuit. They look for jobs, relationships, and material success, believing that these external achievements will bring them lasting fulfillment. But in this endless chase, they become trapped in a system that does not honor who they truly are. The world teaches them to conform, to fit in, to follow a path dictated by society's expectations. The fear of not having enough drives their every move, keeping them in a cycle of struggle and dissatisfaction. Seekers believe the answers are outside of them. They chase after validation, approval, and stability, often ignoring the quiet whispers of their soul. They mistake movement for progress, effort for alignment. But no matter how hard they try, they never feel complete because they are searching in the wrong place. Discoverers move differently. They understand that the answers are not out there, but within. Instead of forcing their way through life, they surrender to divine guidance. They listen. They observe. They recognize the signs that have always been there. They do not waste energy chasing what is not meant for them. Instead, they step into alignment with their true calling. Rather than seeking opportunities, discoverers recognize the ones already placed before them. They follow their passion, their energy, and their intuition, knowing that these are the markers of their divine path. They do not fear lack because they trust in abundance. They do not force outcomes because they know that what is meant for them will come in divine timing. The moment you stop seeking and start discovering, everything changes. You no longer chase after wealth. You align with it. You stop striving for success. You allow it to manifest. Your energy shifts from desperation to confidence, from fear to faith. The chosen ones do not beg for their blessings. They step into them. If you have spent your life searching, it is time to stop. You have always had the answers. You have always had the signs. Now, it is time to recognize them. The world may try to keep you in the mindset of a seeker, but your soul is calling you to be a discoverer. The moment you make that shift, your wealth, both spiritual and material, begins to flow effortlessly. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Now, step forward not as a seeker, but as a discoverer. If you're ready to shift from seeking to discovering, comment "I align" below. Your energy shapes your reality. Let me know your thoughts, and let's awaken together. 6. How to hear God's voice. God speaks to you constantly in ways both subtle and profound. But the real question is, are you truly listening? Too often, people expect divine messages to arrive in dramatic moments, visions, thunderous declarations, or miraculous signs. But in reality, God's voice often whispers. It speaks in quiet nudges, in gut feelings that seem to come from nowhere, in moments of deep knowing that defy logic. God does not play dice with the universe. As Albert Einstein once said, reminding us that nothing is left to chance. Everything you feel in your soul, every deep pull towards something greater, it all has a purpose. But to hear it, you must silence the noise that drowns it out. The world is loud. The demands of daily life, the fear of uncertainty, the constant pursuit of security. These distractions create a wall between you and the spiritual wisdom waiting to be received. Many people spend their lives searching for meaning in material things, never realizing that the answers they seek have always been within them. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10 reminds us. This is not just poetic wisdom. It is a divine instruction. Stillness is the gateway to clarity. If you truly want to connect with your higher purpose, you must create space for God's voice to be heard. Look around you. God is speaking through everything. He speaks through your natural gifts, those talents that set your soul on fire. He speaks through your deepest dreams, the aspirations that refuse to fade no matter how much time passes. He speaks through moments of peace, when you feel an unshakable sense of rightness about a decision or path. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. When something resonates deeply within you, it is not just a passing feeling, it is a calling. Your work is to discover your work, and then, with all your heart, to give yourself to it, said Buddha, emphasizing the importance of recognizing the divine purpose within. But here's the key. Listening is not enough. You must act. God does not reveal his plans to those who remain idle. Faith without action is like a lamp without oil. It has the potential to shine, but remains in darkness. When you listen to the voice of God and align yourself with it, doors begin to open. Opportunities that seemed impossible suddenly appear. What once felt like struggle becomes flow. This is where your spiritual wealth begins, not just in material abundance, but in a life overflowing with purpose, joy, and divine alignment. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. Matthew 6:33. When you prioritize the spiritual, the material naturally follows. So, ask yourself today, are you truly listening? Are you allowing divine wisdom to guide you? Or are you too caught up in the noise of the world? The moment you choose to be still and listen, transformation begins. God takes over, and from this point on, your path becomes clearer. This is the beginning of something extraordinary. The moment you choose to embrace the divine guidance within you, your wealth, both spiritual and material, begins. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's grow together in faith and spiritual wisdom. Your journey to hearing God's voice starts now. 7. The time for waiting is over. How long have you been waiting? Waiting for a sign, for the perfect moment, for the stars to align. The truth is, the perfect moment will never come, not in the way you expect, because the moment you are waiting for is already here. The calling that has been stirring in your heart, the deep knowing that you are meant for something greater, is not a coincidence. It is divine timing. And the time for waiting is over. Many people spend their whole lives trapped in hesitation, convincing themselves that they are not ready. They say, "I'll start when I have more clarity. I'll act when I feel stronger. I'll move forward when everything falls into place." But here's the reality. Clarity comes through action. Strength is built through movement, and things fall into place only when you take the first step. God did not reveal this message to you by chance. He did not put this restlessness in your heart without reason. That deep pull inside of you, the one that won't let you settle, is not meant to be ignored. It is meant to be followed. You are not waiting for the right time. The right time has been waiting for you. Now is the moment to break free from the cycle of delay. The shift you desire will not happen while you stand still. Your wealth, your purpose, your transformation, it all begins when you move. When you say, "Enough waiting. I trust in the divine plan." When you finally let go of fear and step into faith. Every second spent waiting is a second lost. The chosen ones are not those who hesitate. They are the ones who act, who trust, who rise. And now, it's your turn. No more excuses. No more delays. The time for waiting is over. The time for living your destiny is now. Move. 8. Your journey begins now. Stand up. Accept the call. Walk with confidence. You are not here by accident. The path you walk has been ordained by a higher power, and your soul has been prepared for a divine mission. From this moment forward, God is taking over, and your true wealth, both spiritual and material, is beginning to unfold before you. If you bear the mark of the crescent moon, or the letter M, know that you are one of the chosen ones. These signs are not mere coincidences. They carry deep spiritual significance. They are symbols of transformation, of divine favor, and of a destiny that is far greater than you may realize. You are stepping into a period where your spiritual awakening will accelerate, and the universe will begin aligning in your favor. For too long, you may have felt like an outsider, as if the world does not understand you. Perhaps you've endured trials, faced betrayals, or carried burdens that seemed too heavy to bear. But all of this was preparation. Every struggle, every hardship, every moment of solitude was refining you, shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. You were never meant to fit in with the crowd because you were chosen to stand apart. Now, the shift begins. The spiritual forces that once seemed silent are now actively working on your behalf. Doors that were previously closed will open effortlessly. People who doubted you will witness your rise. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, will orchestrate events to bring abundance, wisdom, and divine guidance into your life. But you must recognize the power within you. It is time to trust that inner voice, the one that has been nudging you towards something greater. God is not only walking beside you, He is leading the way. The challenges you once faced will now turn into opportunities. The dreams you have long held in your heart will no longer seem distant, but will begin manifesting into reality. Do not let fear hold you back. Doubt has no place in the life of the chosen. Step forward boldly, knowing that you are divinely protected and guided. Your spiritual awakening is a gift, one that allows you to see beyond illusions, to understand hidden truths, and to embrace the power of faith and manifestation. If you feel the call within your soul, it's time to step forward. Declare your commitment to this divine journey by commenting below. I am chosen. Let this be your affirmation, a signal to the universe that you are ready to embrace your destiny. Your awakening has begun to walk boldly in faith, knowing that you are divinely guided and protected. As a chosen one, marked by the crescent moon and the M on your palm, your journey has been guided by divine forces. From this moment on, know that God is taking over, aligning everything in your favor. Your abundance, your purpose, and your destiny are unfolding as they should. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more powerful insights. Also, turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Stay blessed and keep walking the path of divine wisdom. Chosen one. From now on, it is God's duty, richness forever. Many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22:14. If you're watching this, it's not by chance, it's a divine calling. You are the chosen one, and from this moment forward, your struggles are no longer your burden. God is stepping in to take over, guiding you toward abundance, success, and a life filled with blessings. The doubts, the hardships, the setbacks, they were all part of your transformation. Now, it's time for your elevation. Are you ready to step into your divine destiny? Comment below and declare, I am chosen and my abundance begins now. Let's embark on this journey together. 1. The end of struggle, the beginning of wealth. For years, you may have believed that struggle and hardship were necessary rites of passage, that financial security could only be earned through relentless labor and sacrifice. But now, a great spiritual awakening is upon you, revealing a profound truth: your days of toil are over. You are chosen, and from this moment forward, your wealth is not something you chase. It is something that flows to you effortlessly, as if ordained by divine will. This is not about abandoning work or responsibility, but rather stepping into alignment with the higher forces at play. Just as a river never strains to flow, wealth in your life will no longer be a product of mere effort, but of your connection to something greater than God's divine provision. The the struggle you once endured was merely preparation, sculpting your spirit, testing your faith, and shaping your mind to receive the abundance that has always been destined for you. Think of the story of the Israelites in the wilderness, wandering, doubting, striving until they arrived at the Promised Land, a place where manna rained from heaven. So too, your journey is shifting. The energy of wealth, of prosperity, is not bound by physical work alone. It responds to faith, to spiritual consciousness, to the belief that you are worthy of receiving without constant struggle. This is not just about money. This is about stepping into a new paradigm where you live in effortless abundance because you finally recognize your divine inheritance. Look around. Those who truly live in abundance, those who command wealth, are not necessarily the hardest workers. They have simply tapped into a higher understanding. Money is energy, and like all energy, it flows where it is welcomed, not where it is desperately grasped. Now is your time to release doubt. Release the outdated belief that success is earned only through pain, and instead embrace the profound truth God has already paved the way for your richness forever. Trust in His promise, step into your spiritual awakening, and allow yourself to receive. Because when you walk in faith, when you align with divine abundance, wealth doesn't trickle, it overflows. And if you feel inspired by this message, type, "I trust the process," as a way to affirm your strength, patience, and commitment to growth. Let's grow together. 2. Trust in God's promises. When you are chosen, your path is no longer your own. It becomes aligned with divine purpose. From this point on, God is in charge of ensuring your abundance, peace, and success. Wealth is not just material wealth, but a spiritual legacy, a divine security, not just a wish or a hope. The universe moves in alignment with God's promise, ensuring that you will never have to live in fear of financial instability again. You don't have to struggle constantly, worrying about tomorrow, because God has prepared it for you. Spirituality teaches us that wealth is not measured by numbers, but by the unshakable peace, unshakable joy, and divine security that comes with trusting in God's plan. Once you accept this truth, you enter a reality where abundance flows effortlessly. But the question is, do you really believe that God has made a path for you? Think of the story of a young entrepreneur who risked everything to pursue his calling. He left a stable job, believing that his purpose was greater than just earning a paycheck. The world told him he was reckless, that financial security was about saving, investing, and planning every step of the way. But he held on to his faith, believing that true security comes from following God's will. As he moved forward, doors opened, opportunities appeared from places he never expected, and resources came at exactly the right time. He didn't just experience financial success, he found peace, joy, and a deeper connection with God. His spiritual growth became the foundation for his wealth, proving that when you trust in God's promises, you will never lack. Could it be that your greatest wealth is already waiting for you, just beyond the limits of your fears? Too often, people measure success by the amount of money in their bank accounts, forgetting that true wealth is a state of unwavering trust in God's provision, a heart filled with gratitude, and a mind free from worry. Money can be lost, but God's abundance never runs out. If you truly believe that God has chosen you, then why worry? Fear and doubt block the flow of blessings, while trust and faith open up endless possibilities. What if the very thing you are worrying about today is already taken care of by God? What if your spiritual journey is the key to unlocking wealth that will last forever? So here is your lesson. Stop questioning, stop fearing, and start believing. Let go of the scarcity mindset. Step into faith and know that when you are aligned with your divine purpose, scarcity has no place in your life. Abundance is your birthright, but it starts with your spiritual growth. Are you ready to receive it? If so, comment below. I am ready, and let's go on this amazing journey together. 3. Confidence in divine provision. Imagine waking up every morning with the absolute certainty that everything you need is already on its way to you. No more worries, no more sleepless nights filled with doubt, just the quiet confidence that the universe is working for your good. When you trust in God's provision, you are aligning yourself with a power far greater than yourself, a power that has already mapped out the path to abundance before you. Think of a child who never questions whether their parents will provide food, shelter, and love. They simply trust. That is the level of faith you are called to embrace, the deep, unshakable certainty that God's hand is always leading you to fulfillment. Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase, Martin Luther King Jr. said, and that is exactly what it means to trust in God's provision. It's about moving forward with boldness, knowing that everything you need, whether it's financial stability, wisdom, strength, or guidance, will be provided in perfect timing. But the question is, are you willing to let go of control and surrender to this divine wisdom? Because the moment you stop worrying about the how and start trusting the when, your life will change. Suddenly, doors open where you once saw walls, and solutions appear where you once saw problems. It's not passive waiting. It's walking in the certainty that you are already taken care of. The great Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "All that I have seen teaches me to trust the Creator for all that I have not seen." So what if, instead of focusing on what you lack, you turned your attention to the spiritual wisdom that reminds you that abundance is already within reach? What if today, right now, you decided to live with fearless confidence, knowing that the divine is orchestrating everything for your highest good? Because from this moment forward, your path is not just about survival, but also about growth, expansion, and receiving eternal wealth. Now, I ask you, what would your life look like if you trusted that truth completely? Would you dare to move forward without hesitation, knowing that you are supported by the divine? The choice is yours. Comment below. I choose to move forward as your affirmation for this great journey of awakening. 4. Wealth is God's responsibility, not yours. For too long, men have carried the weight of survival on their backs, believing that wealth comes only through relentless toil and exhaustion. But here's a profound truth. When you step into the role of the chosen one, the burden of financial struggle is no longer yours to bear. Your only responsibility is to align with divine will, to walk in faith, and to trust that the universe, created and governed by God, holds limitless abundance for you. When you awaken spiritually, you begin to see that life is not about endlessly chasing after wealth. Rather, it is about stepping into divine alignment, where prosperity flows effortlessly. Wealth is not something you force. It's something you receive when you stand in your true power, knowing that the universe was designed to provide for you. Think about the wind. Does it struggle to blow? Does the sun force itself to shine? No. They simply exist in perfect harmony with their purpose. Likewise, you were never meant to grind yourself into the ground just to survive. Your spiritual awakening is a call to shift from struggle to surrender, from control to trust, because when you step into your divine assignment, provision becomes automatic. God, the creator of all things, holds infinite resources, and he never intended for you to live in lack. Every great leader, every man who has ever risen to true greatness, understood that they didn't waste energy worrying about how to make ends meet. They focused on their purpose, and the doors opened. Your wealth is already accounted for in the divine plan, but it cannot be accessed through fear or desperation. It flows only through alignment and faith. In today's world, where financial pressure weighs heavily on men, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you must hustle endlessly, sacrificing your peace for prosperity. But that is not the way of the spiritually awakened. The real key to lasting abundance is to shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of divine trust. Let go of the belief that you must figure it all out alone. Instead, step into the truth that when you live in alignment, opportunities, connections, and wealth come to you effortlessly. Just as a tree does not chase the rain, but trusts it will come in due time, you too must trust that God will provide exactly what you need at the right moment. This is not about passivity, it is about power. The chosen ones don't beg for blessings, they expect them, because they know they are heirs to an abundant kingdom. When you release the need to control everything and instead focus on walking in faith, you shift from striving to receiving. You stop chasing and start attracting. You no longer live in fear, but in confidence, knowing that richness is forever when you align with the divine. So, take a deep breath, step into your calling, and let the wealth that was always meant for you unfold in perfect timing. Declare today by commenting below, "God is with me," and let that truth sink into your heart. Share this message with someone who might need it, because encouragement multiplies when spoken. 5. Banishing doubt and embracing abundance. Doubt is like a shadow that blocks the light of abundance from entering your life. It whispers lies, making you question your worth, your potential, and even the divine plan set for you. But here's the truth. Faith is the key that unlocks miracles. When you step into your spiritual journey with certainty, trusting that you are chosen for something greater, you align yourself with an infinite source of blessings. You are not meant to struggle in scarcity. You are meant to thrive. Spiritual growth is not just about inner peace. It also extends to material abundance because financial success is part of God's plan for you. The universe does not withhold riches from those who truly believe. It simply waits for them to claim what is already theirs. Yet, many people allow self-doubt to limit their potential, believing wealth is for others, but not for them. They ask, "Why would God bless me?" When the real question should be, why wouldn't He? If you were chosen to be a light in this world, wouldn't it make sense that you are also meant to have the resources to fulfill that purpose? Think about a struggling entrepreneur who has a vision to help others, perhaps someone who wants to build a foundation, create jobs, or uplift their community. But every time an opportunity arises, they hesitate, feeling unworthy or fearing failure. Their doubt becomes the very thing that keeps them stuck. Now, compare this to another individual with the same skills, same background, and same opportunities, but with unwavering faith. They believe their success is already written, that God's abundance is limitless, and that their financial growth serves a higher purpose. That belief transforms their actions. They take risks, make bold decisions, and attract opportunities effortlessly. Eventually, wealth flows into their life not just for personal comfort, but to create a ripple effect of good in the world. The only real difference between these two people is faith. So, which one will you choose to be? When you remove doubt from your heart, you open yourself up to receive. Wealth is not meant to be hoarded. It is meant to be shared, to impact lives, to fuel a purpose greater than yourself. The money you earn is not just for luxury, but to uplift others, to support causes that matter, and to leave a legacy that goes beyond material things. God's plan for you includes spiritual growth, but it also includes financial freedom. The question is, are you ready to embrace it? Are you willing to trust that you are worthy of the blessings waiting for you? Because the moment you do, you step into a reality where richness is no longer something you chase. It becomes something that flows naturally into your life. Faith is not just believing in God's power. It is believing that His power is working through you. The lesson here is clear. Banish doubt, embrace abundance, and step boldly into the life you were always meant to live. If this message speaks to you, take it a step further and share it with someone who might need this reminder. Together, we can build connections rooted in honesty and respect. 6. Overcoming criticism and mockery. Have you ever felt like the world doubts your potential, as if people look at your dreams and scoff, believing they will never come to pass? You are not alone. Many of the greatest figures in history faced ridicule before their breakthrough, yet they persevered. Think of Thomas Edison, who was told by his teachers that he was too stupid to learn anything, or Albert Einstein, whose early years were marked by doubt from those around him. Even Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential women in the world, was once told she wasn't fit for television. But here's the truth. What others say about you is insignificant compared to what God has planned for you. Spiritual wisdom teaches us that the path to greatness often comes with trials, including criticism and mockery. It is not a sign of failure. Rather, it is confirmation that you are on the right path. When you carry divine purpose, resistance is inevitable, but so is victory. The Bible reminds us in Isaiah chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." This means that no words spoken against you, no laughter aimed at your dreams, and no disbelief surrounding your potential can alter the destiny that God has prepared for you. Have you ever considered that the very people who question your journey today might one day stand in awe of what you have accomplished? Your success is not just personal, it is a testimony of God's faithfulness, a living proof that He lifts those who trust in Him. So, the next time someone doubts your ability to rise, smile, and keep going, because their words do not define you, your faith, resilience, and unwavering commitment to your divine calling do. After all, isn't it written in Romans chapter 8, verse 31, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" The world may not always understand your journey, but that's because your path is not ordinary. It is extraordinary, designed by a higher power for a purpose only you can fulfill. How will you choose to respond the next time someone doubts your potential? Will you let their words discourage you? Or will you allow them to fuel the fire within you, proving that faith is more powerful than fear? Remember, you are chosen, and from this moment forward, it is God's duty to lead you to richness forever. Trust the process, embrace the journey, and walk boldly in your purpose. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 7. Living in the fullness of God's provision. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to live in the fullness of God's provision? To walk in a life where abundance is not just about material wealth, but a complete overflow of peace, joy, and purpose. The spiritual awakening that comes with understanding divine provision transforms the way you see everything: your finances, relationships, and health. When you step into the role of the chosen one, you are no longer striving alone. From this moment on, it becomes God's duty to provide, guide, and elevate you into richness forever. This is not merely about acquiring wealth in the way the world defines it. It is about embracing the infinite supply that God has already set before you. The problem is that many people live with a scarcity mindset, constantly worrying about the future, feeling undeserving of blessings, and believing they must struggle to earn everything. But the truth is, divine abundance is not something you chase. It is something you align with through faith, gratitude, and unwavering trust. Think of a river when it flows freely. It nourishes everything along its path. But when there is a blockage, the water becomes stagnant, and life around it begins to wither. This is exactly how divine provision works. God's blessings are meant to flow through you effortlessly, but fear, doubt, and resistance create barriers that stop His abundance from reaching you. Your spiritual awakening begins when you release these blockages and allow God's provision to manifest in all areas of your life. You were never meant to live in lack. God's plan has always been for you to thrive, to experience financial stability without stress, to have fulfilling relationships built on love and mutual support, and to walk in divine health, unshaken by sickness or worry. The moment you recognize this truth, your faith deepens, and you begin to see that everything you need is already on its way to you. The journey of divine provision is not about waiting passively. It is about walking boldly in faith, knowing that as you move forward, the doors will open, the right people will appear, and opportunities will align effortlessly. This is the richness forever that God has promised. Many people misunderstand wealth, seeing it only as money. But true wealth is a combination of financial security, inner peace, and a life filled with purpose. Look at the most fulfilled individuals in the world. Their wealth is not just in their bank accounts. It is in the wisdom they carry, the relationships they nurture, and the joy they radiate. The real test is whether you trust God enough to receive it all. You must remove the limiting beliefs that tell you success is for others, but not for you. When you shift your mindset and align yourself with divine provision, you unlock doors that were always meant for you to walk through. In today's modern world, where the pressure to achieve and the fear of failure dominate many minds, understanding God's provision brings peace like nothing else. It allows you to operate with confidence rather than stress, knowing that the source of all things is always working in your favor. But faith is the key. Without it, you will constantly question whether you are worthy, whether the timing is right, or whether you are doing enough. Stop questioning and start trusting. You are chosen, and as a chosen one, your path is different. God's duty is to provide for you, and your duty is to believe, to take inspired action, and to live in gratitude. Let go of fear, embrace abundance, and walk forward knowing that your spiritual awakening has positioned you to receive all that is meant for you. Your life is about to shift in ways you never imagined. Share your story, or simply type, "I am growing," if you're committed to using every moment to improve yourself. Let's keep this conversation going. I can't wait to hear your insights. 8. Taking bold steps with divine assurance. There comes a point in your life when you have to stop hesitating, stop doubting, and stop questioning whether you deserve greatness because you do. You were chosen for a reason, and your journey is not random. The divine has marked out your path, and all it takes is faith and bold action. Too often, people let fear paralyze them, convincing themselves that they need more time, more skill, or more validation before they step into the opportunities presented to them. But what if the very door you fear walking through is the door to your breakthrough? Spirituality teaches us that faith is not just believing in something invisible, but acting on that belief with unwavering confidence. When you are truly aligned with the divine, every step you take becomes a step toward your highest destiny. Think of people who change their lives, not by waiting for certainty, but by trusting the process. There's a famous story of an entrepreneur who struggled with self-doubt. She had a vision, a dream to create something impactful, but fear held her back. One day, she chose to let go of her worries and move forward as if success were inevitable. She didn't see the whole path, but she trusted that each step would be revealed in God's timing. And just like that, doors began to open to opportunities she never imagined, relationships that seemed destined, and financial prosperity that she previously felt was out of reach. This is the power of taking action from faith. Spiritual growth is more than just inner peace. It's about embracing God's assurance that wealth, success, and fulfillment are natural extensions of your belief in a higher plan. Striving relentlessly without faith will lead to burnout, but when you act on your purpose, wealth comes easily. The key is obedience, listening to the inner voice that pushes you forward, even when your mind tells you to stop. What if you stopped second-guessing yourself? What if you truly believed that God had gone before you, removed obstacles, and prepared you for a life of eternal abundance? Would you take that leap? Would you start that business, write that book, seize that opportunity, or simply walk in confidence knowing that your path is designed by God? The biggest breakthroughs come when you stop resisting and start flowing with the certainty that what's meant for you will not pass you by. You were never meant to struggle endlessly. You were meant to step into a life where prosperity is not something to be pursued, but something to be received. The lesson is clear. Stop hesitating and start believing. Your future is not uncertain. It is already written, already blessed, and waiting for you to claim. Will you step forward? Comment below. I believe in this journey as your affirmation in this wonderful journey. 9. Wealth as a testament to God's faithfulness. When you step into the realization that you are the chosen one, you must understand that from this moment forward, it is God's duty to take care of you, to guide you, and to bless you with richness forever. Your wealth is not just about material success. It is a testament to God's faithfulness, a living proof that He fulfills His promises without fail. When you walk in spiritual wisdom, aligning yourself with divine purpose, you become a beacon of light for others to witness what true abundance looks like. Think about it. When people see you thriving, overcoming obstacles, and living a life filled with prosperity, they begin to question, if God can do this for you, can He do it for me too? That spark of curiosity, that moment of realization, can ignite faith in the hearts of many. This is why your wealth is never just for you. It carries a divine responsibility. As Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22 declares, "The blessing of the Lord makes one rich, and He adds no sorrow with it." Your financial and spiritual prosperity is meant to overflow, touching the lives of those around you and inspiring them to trust in the limitless power of God. But ask yourself, what does wealth truly mean? Is it simply about having an abundance of money? Or is it about living in divine favor, peace, and purpose? The richest people in the world are not just those who have financial success, but those who have an unshakable connection with the Creator, an unwavering faith that no circumstance can break. Imagine the impact you can have when you fully embrace this truth, when you stop worrying, stop doubting, and start believing that everything you need has already been assigned to you by God. From the beginning of time, He has ordained your path, and every blessing with your name on it is waiting for you to claim it. But here's the key. Faith without action is like a seed that is never planted. You must step boldly into your calling, knowing that God has already prepared the way. As you receive wealth, remember that it is a tool, a resource meant to bring change, to uplift others, and to carry forward God's work. What legacy will you leave behind? How will you use your abundance to inspire and transform lives? The world is watching, and your story is unfolding. Will you trust in the divine plan and walk in the fullness of your calling? Because once you accept that God's duty is to provide for you, the only thing left for you to do is receive, believe, and act in unwavering faith. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 10. Supernatural flow of blessings. Life is not meant to be a constant struggle, nor is success something that must be earned through relentless hardship alone. When you align yourself with a higher spiritual calling, you step into a divine flow where blessings transcend mere financial wealth. They pour into every area of your existence. Many believe that abundance is something we chase, but in reality, true abundance is something we receive when we surrender to the divine order. The key to unlocking this supernatural flow of blessings is not found in forceful striving, but in trust, faith, and spiritual awakening. When you learn to trust in the divine, when you align your life with a higher purpose, miracles unfold before you in ways you never thought possible. You no longer operate within the confines of limited human effort, but instead step into the effortless abundance that God has already prepared for you. God's blessings are not limited to money or material gain. They reach into your health, relationships, peace of mind, and opportunities that seem to come out of nowhere. The moment you truly surrender and say, "From now on, it is God's duty," you activate a powerful spiritual principle. The more you let go of control, the more the universe conspires in your favor. This is not about passivity or wishful thinking, but about knowing that when you walk in faith and obedience, everything aligns for your highest good. Imagine stepping into a river where the current carries you forward effortlessly. This is the divine flow. Doors that were once locked swing open. People enter your life at the perfect moment, and solutions arise before problems even surface. You no longer operate from a place of scarcity, but from a place of supernatural provision. History and spiritual teachings show us that those who trust in divine timing and purpose are always met with extraordinary breakthroughs. Think of the countless stories of men who, the moment they surrendered their struggles and aligned with their true calling, saw opportunities beyond imagination. They didn't need to chase what they were attracted to. This is because the energy of faith, surrender, and divine connection creates a magnetic force that draws in all that is meant for you. Struggles cease to be battles. Instead, they become stepping stones to higher levels of understanding and fulfillment. The greatest mistake many make is believing they must figure everything out on their own. But the truth is, when you embrace the supernatural flow of blessings, the burden is lifted. In modern life, where stress and overexertion have become the norm, this wisdom is more relevant than ever. Society tells us to work harder, to grind endlessly, and to measure success by how much we accumulate. But true richness is not just in material wealth, it's in peace, joy, purpose, and freedom. A man who has millions but is enslaved by anxiety and fear is not truly rich. A man who has surrendered to divine abundance, who trusts that every need will be met, who walks with confidence knowing that supernatural opportunities are already lined up for him, is a man who possesses real, lasting richness. When you step into this awareness, you stop grasping and start receiving. You move differently, think differently, and most importantly, you start to see evidence of divine intervention in your everyday life. You are not meant to struggle forever. You are chosen, and as a chosen one, richness, spiritual and material, is your divine right. Let go, trust, and watch as the supernatural flow of blessings transforms every part of your life. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What is your perspective on the importance of this value? Share your insights and let's continue this conversation. 11. Walking through divine doors of opportunity. There comes a time in your spiritual journey when doors begin to open in ways you never expected. These are not ordinary doors. They are divine opportunities set in motion by a higher power, aligning perfectly with your destiny. You may be facing obstacles right now, challenges that seem too overwhelming to overcome. But have you ever considered that these struggles are not roadblocks, but stepping stones leading you towards something greater? Every moment of difficulty is shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for the richness that is waiting on the other side. It is in these moments of uncertainty that faith becomes your greatest ally. What if the very thing that seems to be holding you back is actually guiding you toward a breakthrough? Spiritual growth is not about avoiding struggles, but recognizing their purpose in your transformation. Many successful individuals can trace their journey back to a moment when they faced an impossible situation, only to realize later that it was the exact push they needed to walk through a divine door. Think about a person who was laid off from their job, filled with fear and self-doubt, only to discover that this was the turning point that led them to start their own business, one that later flourished beyond their imagination. Was it a setback, or was it divine alignment? Sometimes, What feels like an ending is just the universe redirecting you toward your true calling. When you align yourself with faith, when you believe that you are chosen for something greater, you will start to see that nothing is happening by accident. Every opportunity, every encounter, every challenge is part of a greater plan designed to bring you into financial abundance and fulfillment. But here's the catch: you have to walk through the door. You have to trust that what's waiting on the other side is far greater than what you're leaving behind. How often do people miss their blessings simply because they are afraid to take that step? Spirituality teaches us that wealth is not just about money. It is about a life filled with purpose, joy, and the ability to create positive change in the world. Richness forever is not a one-time blessing. It is a mindset, a way of living that flows naturally when you embrace your divine path. The key is to recognize the signs, to see beyond temporary discomfort, and to trust that when one door closes, another one far greater is already waiting for you to step through. So, the question is, are you ready to walk through the divine doors of opportunity? Are you ready to embrace the richness that has already been set in motion for you? The lesson here is simple. Trust in the process, embrace spiritual growth, and know that when you step forward with faith, prosperity is not just possible, it is inevitable. And if you feel inspired by this message, type "I trust the process" as a way to affirm your strength, patience, and commitment to growth. Let's grow together. 12. Wealth with a purpose. What if I told you that wealth is not just about accumulation, but about divine responsibility? From this moment on, understand that being chosen by God comes with a duty far greater than personal gain. It is a sacred mission, a calling to steward the blessings you receive for a higher purpose. True wealth is not meant for self-indulgence, but for fulfilling God's grand design, ensuring that His kingdom flourishes through your actions. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to receive endless abundance? It is because they have learned a powerful spiritual truth. Giving does not diminish wealth, it multiplies it. As the great philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for himself." The universe operates on a divine principle. What you sow, you shall reap. Every act of generosity is like planting a seed in fertile soil, and in due time, it grows into a harvest greater than you ever imagined. Imagine living in a world where your wealth continuously expands because it flows through you like a river, nourishing everything in its path. That is the essence of spiritual wisdom. Understanding that money is not an end, but a means, a tool placed in your hands by God to uplift others, to bring hope, to heal, and to transform lives. Think about it. What if your wealth could build schools, provide clean water, or empower those in need? What if your abundance could be the answer to someone's prayer? That is the level of impact God wants you to have. The key is to shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance, from selfishness to divine purpose. When you align your wealth with God's mission, you step into a realm where lack no longer exists, where opportunities flow effortlessly, and where you become a vessel of limitless blessings. Do you believe that you are ready to embrace this calling? The choice is yours. Will you let wealth serve only yourself? Or will you use it as a force for good, ensuring that richness remains yours forever, not just in material form, but in spiritual fulfillment, in legacy, and in divine favor? The answer lies in your hands and in your heart. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. 13. Legacy of divine richness. From the moment you awaken to your spiritual calling, you step into a realm where divine richness is not just a fleeting blessing, but a legacy meant to span generations. This isn't about temporary wealth that rises and falls like the tides, but about an eternal abundance that flows through you and into the world. The chosen ones, those who truly embrace their spiritual awakening, are not just receivers of blessings, but vessels through which God's divine provision continues to flourish. When you align with this truth, you realize that your wealth is not just for personal gain, but a tool to transform lives, uplift communities, and leave behind a legacy that echoes through time. Every act of faith, every decision to trust in God's plan, unlocks a cycle of prosperity that does not end with you, but expands beyond measure. Think of the great figures in history who understood this. Those who built not just businesses, but entire movements of generosity, who didn't hoard their riches, but used them as instruments to create lasting change. The secret to infinite abundance is knowing that it is never just about you. It is about what God wants to do through you. When you remove fear and scarcity from your mindset and replace them with faith, you tap into a supernatural flow where success, wealth, and spiritual fulfillment become inseparable. Modern life often teaches us to chase after riches with endless struggle, but the true path is different. It is surrendering to the divine plan and allowing God's abundance to work through you effortlessly. Wealth that is spiritually aligned does not come with stress and exhaustion, but with purpose and peace. Many people fail because they believe riches are something they must force into existence. But when you recognize that it is God's duty to provide, your role shifts from chasing to receiving, from striving to trusting. This is where your transformation begins, where you no longer see success as an uphill battle, but as a divine inheritance waiting to be claimed. The moment you let go of doubt and fully commit to the path laid before you, doors will open in ways you never imagined, and your influence will stretch beyond what you ever thought possible. The wealth you cultivate today is not just for you. It is meant to sustain, nurture, and empower generations to come. True prosperity is not measured by numbers in a bank account, but by the impact you leave on the world. A spiritually awakened man understands that his riches are not just material, but woven into the very essence of his purpose. So, trust, surrender, and embrace the richness that is already yours, knowing that from now on, it is God's duty to provide, and it is your duty to receive, expand, and share. In life, everything unfolds in divine timing. Just like the seasons of waiting, sowing, and reaping, God is always working behind the scenes to bring you the abundance you deserve. When you align with this truth, blessings will flow effortlessly into your life. Trust the process, have faith, and know that your breakthrough is on the way. How have you experienced divine timing in your journey? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more powerful insights. Stay blessed and keep walking in faith